All right. So I am Jessie Mahoney. I am a pediatrician who is also a coach and a yoga teacher, and I do a tremendous amount of physician wellness and lead retreats, blending all of those things together. I also have a podcast called the Mindful Healers Podcast, and I would love it if all of you listened. A lot of the themes that we practice in yoga here come up in the podcast, and they come up in coaching, and they come up in the retreats. And so what I often like to point out is that when you weave all of these things into all the different places of your life, they get into the nooks and crannies, which is something that I talk a lot about in yoga. And one of the reasons that I think yoga and mindfulness are so integral to change and transformation is that when we are relaxed, we are more receptive to new ideas and shifting perspectives without that push and hardness that so many of us are used to. And so that is the spirit in which I offer these classes each weekend, and they're offered as mindful yoga, which is a blend of mindfulness and yoga and a blend of mindset work, with the idea that when we relax and when we learn to breathe again and settle into our bodies and listen, that there's much there that can create shifts, and that's where our power and control and beauty and ability to change lie. And so with that, find a comfortable seat where you are, if possible, hips above your knees, and notice your pelvic bowl and roll it forward. Align your spine all the way up through the crown of your head, and take in a deep inhale. And a long, smooth exhale, let it out. Noticing how good the breath feels. The breath always available to us. Breathe in through your nose. Exhale, breathe out through your mouth, and drop your shoulders with intention. If it would feel good, flip your palms over on your thighs, and an invitation to close your eyes if that feels right for you. Everything I offer in these classes is an invitation. And so I offer the invitation and you decide whether it works for you. With the palms open, breathing in through your nose and bringing in the light and hope and just energetic, lively spirit of the day in through your hands and up through your arms, right into your heart space. Visualizing the breath and the love and the liveliness going right into that heart space. And exhaling the sludge and resistance and overwhelm and fatigue. Coming back to a normal breathing pattern for a moment. The theme of today's class is going to be alignment and connection. And it's offered in the spirit actually of tomorrow's podcast, which is about sustainability. And these three ideas blend together because when we move forward in our lives from a place of alignment and connection, which I believe are inextricably mixed, life is much more sustainable. It's that extra out of alignment energy expenditure that gets us into trouble. And so even when we're recovering from illness or unexpected things are happening in our lives, when we can show up in alignment, connecting with ourselves and others, the journey is much more easeful. And so in today's class, we'll work on alignment. We'll focus on connection. We'll notice how connection is necessary for alignment and alignment is necessary for connection. And noticing that when we make subtle shifts in either of those areas, bigger shifts happen. Bigger shifts of ease, relaxation, peace, love. And so take in an inhale of the possibility of feeling aligned and feeling connected. Letting go of the tension about being misaligned or disconnected or frustrated or resistant. Breathing in what alignment feels like. Offering it up to every nook and cranny of your body. And exhaling those misaligned feelings, things that feel out of place, just softening into them and letting them go. Part of finding alignment is softening. So breathing in softness to allow things to settle and align in an easeful way. Breathing in and out. And notice your spine and notice whether it feels aligned. Perhaps take a moment to tilt your pelvis forward and realign each vertebrae, stacking one upon the other kindly, reaching all the way through the neck to the postauricular bones, perhaps lifting them up. Reach the crown of your head to the sky, and your palms are still open on your thighs. Taking in a huge aligned breath, noticing how everything feels more easeful when it's aligned. And exhaling what pops up here that's ready to go. A huge breath in of alignment. And a huge breath out of all those things getting in the way. Bring a hand to heart and another hand to top. Sending yourself love and good wishes for this idea of alignment. Noticing that there are always things in the way in a day to knock you out of alignment. But can you come back to the breath and realign? Maybe not perfectly, but more aligned. Breathing in this idea of adapting and adjusting, slight shifts, creating more ease. Letting go of resistance and the need for it to all be perfect. And noticing also that for our spines to be aligned and our lives to be aligned, connection is required. Connection to yourself, getting back to the listening and the learning about what your body needs and wants and craves and what feels good. And that connection, connecting to self, connecting to your core, connecting to your strength, to your wisdom. All of that is needed for alignment. Breathing in connection in that way, this expansive, loving, kind way. And breathing out any resistance to that, judgments, frustrations. And as we consider connection with our hands to heart, connecting to the fact that we have a heart, that it and we need care and attention. That when we want connection from others, we also have to have the capacity to connect. And that requires alignment, and it requires setting an intention to connect. We so often want other people to connect in a certain way and systems to do things in a way to allow us to connect. But what's in our power is to take good care of ourselves, be aligned, connect with ourselves so we can reach out and connect with others. When we come from that space, it feels much more easeful, requires a lot less energy. And so breathing in some of these ideas of connection, alignment, sustainability, what that might look like for you. Sending them into that pocket behind your heart space, that pocket of possibility and hope and love. The pocket of kindness, breathing in all of this right into that pocket behind the heart. Tucking it there for future use when needed. Breathing in and breathing out. Matching the inhale to the exhale. And take a moment here, hand to heart. Connecting with your heart, connecting with your breath. Connecting to this moment in time. And in this moment in time, you are aligned, sitting on your mat. Pelvis tilted forward, spine stacked with ease, reaching the crown of the head towards the sky. Connected with your center and your belly, connected with your sit bones, connected with your heart. And taking a moment to enjoy. So many of us give so much, but allow yourself to receive here what feels good. A moment of quiet and of peace. Allow yourself to enjoy a moment of what it feels like to be aligned. so that you can borrow from that going forward, breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. And noticing that you can feel aligned even when all in your life is not yet aligned. Being in the present with what's aligned in this moment, what you are connected with in this moment. And what can you bring forward onto your mat during this class and into your life for the weekend and week ahead? Bringing your hands together, rubbing the palms together, creating warmth and energy, bringing your thumbs into your sternum, finger pads together, connecting. Wrists aligned, fingers aligned, the middle finger, very tips of the middle fingers aligned. Reaching the fingertips towards the sky, elbows out wide. Taking an inhale here and an exhale. And set an intention for how you might like to move forward with more alignment. What does that look like for you? What's your missing piece? Perhaps you don't know yet. Perhaps it will turn up as we move through class. Or perhaps you already know what direction you'd like to head or what you'd like to practice. Setting that intention with kindness and no judgment. How can you get to a point of a little more alignment and a little more connection and a little more ease? Taking in a long, deep in-breath, sealing that in. And a huge exhale, let it out. And we'll lower our hands and open our eyes, come back together. Give yourself a moment to let the light in and to adjust and adapt and reconnect with your alignment here in the light. Reconnect with yourself, given all the external stimuli spinning around. Bring your hands to your sides. Inhale, reach them up towards the sky. You're going to interlace your fingers, flip your palms towards the sky, shimmy your elbows by your ears, lengthen both side bodies as tall, tall, tall as you can. Huge inhale and a slight arch back. Exhale, round forward, suck your navel all the way back, bathing your spine with movement and allowing it to align as it moves. Inhale, slight arch, seated cow. Exhale, round forward, suck your belly. Use your belly and your center to help your spine align, stretch, reconnect with each different vertebrae and each muscle fiber in between. Inhale, bathing every tiny nook and cranny with the breath. Exhale, round forward. Noticing the ease as things align. Inhale once again, reach your palms tall towards the sky, slight arch back. Exhale, round forward. Suck your belly as far back as you can and enjoy for a moment. Inhale, reach tall. Exhale, tilt to the right. Left side body lengthens and aligns. Inhale, stretch the left hand slightly towards the right, bathing every nook and cranny of the left rib cage with the breath. Exhale, blowing out any misalignment, frustration, sludge, heaviness. Breathing in smoothness and ease. And exhaling that clutter. Lots of clutter gets in the way of alignment. Using the breath to blow away the clutter, the judgments. Inhale, come back to center. Use your belly here. Exhale, drop your shoulders slightly. Inhale, reach tall. The palms are reaching tall, tall, tall. Exhale, tilt to the left. Bathe the whole right side body all the way down into the top of the waist with breath. Inhale, stretch and lengthen. And noticing that the alignment doesn't come from the forcing here. It comes from the stretching and the softening. Use the breath to stretch, lengthen, and soften. Exhale, release. Come back to center. Open your arms out by your sides, reclasp them at your sacrum. Press your fists to the floor, straight your elbows, shoulders down and back. Your chest will pop open towards the front. Breathe into that heart space. Let the heart shine forward. Breathing in all that's aligned and feels right for you, bathing every nook and cranny with that. letting go of all the other people, all the things that they do, the world, the way it should not be. Breathing in this idea that though perhaps it should be different, you can make a difference. Once again, press your fists, palms, whatever is down at the base of your sacrum towards the floor. Shoulders down and back, chest is open towards the front. Huge breath in. Sending the breath in every nook and cranny. Exhale, drop your chin to your chest, release the neck and the tightness there. One breath in here, chin to chest. Exhale, release. You can release your hands, shake them out. Stretch your legs long in front. I invite you to stay up on the block if it works for you. Notice your sit bones and move that flesh of the seat with kindness. Your knees can stay bent here. We're going to hinge at the waist. Once again, taking that pelvic bowl and tilting it forward. Slide your palms down your thighs to your shins. Your ankles will flex towards your knees. Toes will come up towards your knees. And you'll notice a lot of sensations in the back of the legs, perhaps the lower back. Your back is flat and you're hinging. Breathing into all the tightness and energetic shifts here. Allowing things to realign. Breathing in softness and acceptance. Exhale, slide forward a smidge more and release. Breathing in. Exhale, if it feels good, a smidge more, not too much, not overdoing it. We often think that we need to force everything to be aligned. Letting it soften into finding its own alignment, connecting with what that alignment looks like. I invite you to wiggle your toes, perhaps point your toes and notice the sensations. Flex your ankles, toes towards your knees. One more huge breath here into that pocket behind the heart space as the heart shines forward, hinged at the waist, spine is flat. Crown of the head reaches towards the sky. Exhale, slide forward. Slowly slide your hands up your knees to your thighs. You're going to spread your legs wide, coming into a wide angle pose. Use your fists on the floor to realign your sit bones. Noticing that when we're grounded and connected to the earth, it's much easier to align different portions of our body. You need to move the flesh of your seat, do so. Notice your legs. Your knees should be mostly straight here if you're still upright on a block or a bolster. Your ankles will be flexed and your toes will point toward your knees. So you want everything in alignment today, and that is going to be the focus. We don't want our toes all off wonky. And what you'll notice, even as you sit tall, roll your pelvis forward and align your spine, is all the connections between the backs of the legs and the ankles and the toes. Spread your toes wide, noticing that connection all the way up the legs, all the way into your core and your belly. Just through this tiny movement of spreading your toes, each of them as wide as you can. Taking a breath all the way down through the legs, out to the toes. And exhale, as you exhale, ground your ischial spines downward, legs fully engaged, as if you were in Dandasana or staff pose, belly engaged, spine aligned, sitting tall, tall, tall. You may think you're not doing anything, and yet everything here is engaged. Take another inhale, tilt your pelvis forward, align your spine towards the sky. Exhale, root the sit bones downward. Inhale, reach your arms up towards the sky. Once again, slide your right arm down the right leg and lengthen the entire left side body all the way down through the waist. You'll notice different pockets open up here, breathing into every nook and cranny. And if it's okay for your neck, gaze over the left shoulder and blow out whatever needs to go. The sludge, the stickiness, the resistance, the noise, the clutter. Breathing in this clean, aligned, easeful, minimalist life and approach. And breathing out the clutter over the left shoulder, blowing it away. Slide the right hand towards the right ankle if you can. And noticing your sit bones and your belly all fully engaged on the inhale. Sending the breath there. Noticing how they're taking great care of your body here. Exhale, gaze over the left shoulder and blow it out once again. Slide up that right thigh, reach both arms up towards the sky. Inhale, exhale, drop your shoulders. Inhale, reach tall once again. Reach those fingers tall. Use your belly and your core and your center and your rootedness into the earth to stretch. Lower your left hand to the left thigh. Slide it down towards your left ankle. Reach and open the entire right side body. And notice if it's totally different than the left side today. Breathing in, bathing every tight nook and cranny. Exhale, gaze over the left shoulder, blowing out the sludge, clutter, frustrations, wishing things were different. Huge breath in. Allowing that we might wish they're different, but they don't have to be on the exhale. Use your belly here to protect your back. Engage your core here. A lot of the work we do in yoga to strengthen is hidden underneath, using your core here as you stretch, building strength and stability. One more big breath into every nook and cranny of that right side. Exhale, let it out. Reach the left arm out towards the sky. Lower your arms out by your sides, and we'll slide our legs in front. Bend your knees and lift up to come off of whatever you happen to be sitting upon. We're going to stretch our legs long once again here. Move the flesh of your seat and find your ischial spines, connect them downwards. Your knees will be bent slightly, ankles are flexed, toes are flexed towards your knees. We're going to come into Dandasana, which is one of the key alignment poses. And a lot of the work in alignment is slow and careful, and it creates tremendous strength and ease in life. So noticing if your brain wants to move more and realizing that the alignment before the movement is the key. Find your sit bones, tilt your pelvic bowl forward, engage that belly and navel, and align your spine all the way up towards the sky. You'll take your hands, bring them behind you, tent them on the floor like you have a cupcake underneath each of your hands, so you're not squishing the frosting. Press your fingers into the floor. On the inhale, reach the crown of your head tall, chest puffs out, heels reach forward. Exhale, reach the heels further forward. The heels may lift off the floor, heart shines forward, shoulders down and back, Dandasana, everything engaged here. Huge breath in and huge breath out. Notice the shaking, the wiggling, everything is fully engaged in Dandasana or staff pose. One more breath here, holding it longer than usual. And exhale, let it out. Relax your legs, knees, etc. We'll sweep, our feet around, knees underneath us. Come to hands and knees. Finding an aligned hands and knees here. Spread your fingers wide, equal pie shapes between each one, and the palmar surface of all 10 knuckles presses into the floor. No cups in the palms, flat palms to protect your wrists. If you have cranky wrists, you can come up onto your fists too. Notice what feels better for you, and it might be different on different days. Your knees are hips width, tops of the feet on the floor, and take a moment to breathe into your belly and your navel here, lighting up that center. It's key to the alignment, knowing your center, knowing what is meaningful to you, and exhale, let it out. Stretch your right leg long behind you. Toes will be on the floor. Even your hips so they're parallel to the floor. And exhale. Inhale, raise your right leg up about 6 inches below your hip height. Press your heel into the back wall and exhale, pause here. On the next inhale, reach your left hand long in front. Stretch the left fingers long, right heel towards the back. Engage your belly and just enjoy the lengthening here. Breathe in and exhale, breathe out. Stretch long, lengthen on the inhale. And exhale, continue to stretch, lengthen, and align from the left fingers all the way through the right heel, shooting right through your belly, noticing that your belly and core strength is key to everything. It's not even so much core strength, but connecting with your core, knowing it's there, connecting from the fingers on one hand through the heel on the other. Huge inhale. Exhale, elbow to knee underneath you. Round your spine, Inhale, stretch long and lengthen. We'll do 2 more. Exhale, bring your elbow to knee underneath. Inhale, stretch long and lengthen. And if this doesn't work, you can opt out. You can pause wherever you need to. Elbow to knee. Exhale, lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. Lower your left hand to the floor, your right toes to the floor. Drop your right heel to the left and reach your right arm towards the sky. Come into a gate pose. Pause here for a moment. Reach your right fingers tall, tall, tall towards the sky. Find the alignment between the left hand on the floor and the right hand reaching towards the sky. Huge breath in. Exhale with grace. Reach your right arm over your right ear. Lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. Raise your right foot up off the earth if you wish, finding that balance here. Right heel presses towards one end, right fingers towards the other. Find that alignment all the way through the line of the right side body. And notice if there's wobbles or things are out of alignment, breathing into it. Rather than gripping, we often talk in yoga, relax in when things get difficult. It's the softening that allows things to realign and connect. Taking a huge breath into every nook and cranny, into every pocket of tightness. Exhale, release. Reach your right arm up towards the sky. Lower your right foot towards the floor. Right hand is going to wrap around into the left hip crease. Draw your right shoulder back. And if it's okay for your neck, gaze up towards the sky. Roll that right shoulder back and enjoy the release and the opening. Allow your heart to shine upward here. Huge breath in. Pouring that light and hope and willingness to shift and see things differently in, down through your torso into your belly, all the way out to the right foot. Reach the right arm up towards the sky once again. Lower your hand towards the floor. Bend your right knee. Come back to your tabletop position and find your alignment and connect with your core here. The core being key to that alignment. A lot of the work in class today, or just the poses, are designed to help you connect things. You're going to stretch your left leg long behind you and pause for a moment. Connect to your center. Connect your hands into the earth. Connect your palms into the earth. Connect perhaps the humeral heads into the shoulder sockets. On the next inhale, raise your left foot up to hip height, a little below your hips, and pause. Notice how you feel and engage through your center, through your navel. Noticing when we connect with that, everything is easier. Breathing in ease and breathing out the resistance and the struggle. Next, in breath, reach your right arm, towards the front, right fingertips, left heel, pressing towards the back. Long, 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 connecting all the way from the right fingertips through the left heel, through your center, noticing that energy just going from one place to the other. Exhale, let it out, noticing the wiggles and the wobbles, softening in rather than gripping as the wiggles come. Huge breath in. Exhale, elbow to knee underneath you, connect. Inhale, lengthen, long, 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 realigning. Exhale, squeezing out all the stuff that's getting in the way of that, the alignment. Inhale, stretch, long, lengthen. Beautiful and graceful. And even if you think it's not, it is. Bring your elbow to knee underneath you, connecting like a kiss between the elbow and the knee. Stretch long, long, long in either direction. Take a moment here to connect with the gracefulness of the stretch. Huge inhale. Exhale, lower your right hand to the floor, left toes to the floor. Drop your left heel towards the right. Reach your left arm up towards the sky, coming into gate pose. Huge breath in here. Reach the left fingers towards the sky. Connect from the right palm into the earth, all the way through those left fingers. Taking in an inhale and noticing all the parts in your body that connect as you do that, all the way down through the left waist, perhaps the outer edge of the left foot. Exhale, reach your left fingers over the left ear and open up every tiny nook and cranny of the left side body. Send the breath to every nook and cranny here. Exhale, let it out. If it's fun for you, raise that left foot up to hip height a little below. If it's not fun, it doesn't add, or it feels less aligned, keep that foot on the floor and enjoy that lengthening of the left side. Neither is better or worse. This is actually a moment to see what feels aligned for you and to practice. We're so trained in life to just do the hard, do more. So notice what actually is what your body needs here. One more breath. And it might be different than on the other side. It doesn't have to match. Reach the left fingers towards the sky, bend your elbow and roll it into the right hip crease. That left shoulder is going to draw back and gaze upward towards the sky if that works for your neck. Necks can be cranky and fickle, so do what your neck enjoys. Keep your own neck and your own body in alignment. And a lot of that is actually not listening to me, listening to the invitation and knowing when that's not aligned for your body. Sending the breath, pouring it into the whole pocket of the chest here as the heart shines and looks upward in a different direction. Breathing in, bathing it with all the possibilities. It's like cleaning the windows of the heart. We've talked a lot about seeing with your heart. This pose rolls it open in a different way. One more breath here. Letting gravity also relax as it works against the heart. The heart can just fill fully as it hangs here. Reach that left arm up towards the sky. Lower your hand back towards the floor. Come back to your hands and knees. Knees apart, toes together. Press back to child's pose. Release your back here. Lower your third eye or your forehead towards the floor and take a pause. And just notice how you feel. You feel more aligned. Huge in-breath and out-breath. Another big breath here. Exhale, release. 2 more breaths. Use the breath as a way of sort of flushing out sludge and things that are getting in the way, decluttering. Allowing your hips to sink down and low, shoulders to potentially release here. When you're ready, we'll come back up to hands and knees, walk our hands forward, curl your toes and lift up to downward dog. Another pose that really focuses on alignment. And so as we're in downward dog today, notice your alignment. Notice your shoulders and your hands. Are your hands in line with your shoulders? Are they super wide? Notice your arms. Tuck your humeral heads into the shoulder sockets. Draw your attention to your spine and reach your sit bones as high as you can. The sit bones are the apex of downward dog. Pressing into your hands and reaching your hips towards the sky. Downward dog is actually a spine stretch, and stretching is key to alignment, not overstretching, but stretching and creating space and allowing things to soften and realign. So breathing in all the way through the spine, all the way through your hips, sticking your hips as high up as you can, pressing into your hands, lowering your head a wee bit towards the floor. Lift up onto your tippy toes. Your heels will reach high, 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 high. Exhale, lower your heels towards the floor and enjoy all of the energetic shifts. Allowing your body to find its alignment here. Perhaps waggle your hips in one direction and the other. And notice all those sensations. Bend one knee and press the other heel towards the floor and notice all those sensations. And switch sides. Come back to center. Lift up onto your tippy toes as high as you can. Slowly lower your heels towards the floor and let things readjust and realign here. You may need to tweak your hands, release your head and neck. Notice where you're gripping and soften in. Slowly walk your hands back towards your feet, coming into a forward fold. Widen your feet a wee bit. Bend your knees, sink your hips back a little bit, and allow your spine here to soften. If it works for you, grab your elbows
and sway a bit. Some of you I know need stillness in the forward fold, or you need your head up. So noticing what works for you here. Taking a moment to align in this moment, letting things align, reverse of gravity. Perhaps take a moment to look between your legs, noticing a different perspective. That's a lot of why we do inversions in yoga, is to literally change our perspective. From here, notice your belly, release your hands wherever they are, and roll up inch by inch with the intention as you roll up to align your spine, letting each vertebrae find the one that it wants to stack upon. And when you arrive, give it a moment to adjust and let the blood flow pour down, let things settle. Part of alignment is letting things settle. I think we want to align and go. Let things settle, adjust, integrate. Give yourself a moment to let things work themselves out. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Lowering all 10 toes into the earth, rooting them downward. Notice the four corners of the feet, connect them downward. We'll draw the earth's energy up through our legs. Engage your kneecaps, engage your thighs, tuck your pelvis, stack your spine, each vertebrae one atop the other, all the way up through the crown of your head to the top, like you're a marionette. Huge inhale, exhale. Drop your shoulders, palms open towards the front, Tadasana or mountain pose. Noticing once again, this pose in stillness is very strong and engaged and aligned. Taking a moment to notice what it feels like to be aligned, not rushing on to the next pose, and enjoying it. Huge breath in and huge breath out. Take your palms and turn them to face your thighs or towards each other. Raise your arms up to 90 degrees parallel to your shoulders. Palms face one another. Take a moment here to realign, to engage your knees, your thighs, tuck your pelvis, engage your belly, stack your spine, and tuck those humeral heads into the shoulder sockets. Take a moment here to breathe into this alignment here. Noticing the work your belly does here as you pause, and exhale, release. Inhale, raise your arms up towards the sky, maintaining the alignment. Use your belly here. Inhale, draw the breath down through your arms into your armpits, all the way down into your center. Exhale, release. Pause here and enjoy this alignment. Reach the fingers towards the sky, using every tiny muscle fiber in your belly and your core here to keep you aligned. On the exhale, drop your shoulders into the shoulder sockets. Drop your humeral heads into the shoulder sockets, keeping your shoulders aligned. And notice how it feels. Once again, huge breath in. And exhale, release. Lower your hands back to 90 degrees and lower them down to the floor. Take a moment to shake things out. Roll your shoulders back 3 times and forward 3 times. Notice anything that's gripping. Perhaps even notice your belly and sensations it has as we worked through more alignment than we generally do. We're going to shift into a little bit of balance. Balance also requiring alignment. Lifting up all 5 toes on that left foot and lowering them down into the floor, earth, rooting them downward for stability. Raise your right knee up towards hip height and pause here for a moment. Engage your belly and align your hips here, noticing how it feels. Bring your hands to heart center and press your thumbs into your sternum, still pausing here. Perhaps wiggle your toes if you need to invite softness. Engage that belly. Gently tip your torso forward. You're going to bring your knee back to meet the other knee and stretch that right leg behind you, coming into a version of warrior 3, but your arms are centered and your thumbs are focused on the sternum. Noticing that when we focus on our center, balance and alignment is easier. And just pause wherever it works for you. Notice the gripping and soften. Breathe into this. Relaxing in promotes alignment and ease. Less energy wasted. It's a form of alignment and connection are a form of energy conservation or even creating energy. Slowly shift upright, bring your knee back towards the front, bring your knee up to hip height, extend your right leg long in front. Notice the wiggles and the wobbles and try to soften in and embrace them. Your heels pressing forward, leg is straight, bend your knee. Remember to breathe, straight your leg, bend your knee and lower it down. And if you had a lot of wobbles there, soften into the idea that you're just practicing. Practice, what we practice grows. Roll that left ankle out, relaxing, being kind to all the things that are working in a day, softening to create ease. We'll lift up the 5 toes on the right foot and lower them down, rooting them into the earth, drawing up the earth's energy and alignment right through that right leg, right into your belly and your center. Raise your left knee to hip height, knees bent at 90 degrees. Bring your hands to heart center. Connect your thumbs into your sternum and take a moment here to find your alignment and your balance and your core, your center. And use the breath, breathing in. Exhale, tip your torso forward and your knee back towards the other knee and straight the leg behind wherever it wants to go. It can be a little bit, a lot. And breathe here and soften. We often think that that hard shell and all those boundaries is what keeps the alignment and keeps the energy conserved, but softening in is often one of the untapped secrets. Softening into yourself with kindness, little micro adjustments. One more breath here. Gently bring the torso upright, knee back alongside the other. Bring your knee up to hip height in front and pause here. Remembering to take a moment in the transitions, also important to alignment. Huge breath in as you straighten the left knee, reach the left foot forward. Exhale, bend your left knee. Inhale, straight the left knee. Exhale, bend the left knee. And we'll do one more. Soften in as you do this last one rather than grip. Exhale, bend the knee and lower your foot. Shake it out, roll out your ankles. And just notice how everything feels. Roll those shoulders. With intention, scrunch your shoulders all the way up to your ears. Drop your occiput into the shoulders, creating a lot of tension. And exhale, release the shoulders, lower them down, palms open towards the front. Let your body take a moment here to realign, noticing perhaps tingles in different spots. Sending kindness everywhere. Bring a hand to heart and another hand to top, just checking in with how you feel. And we'll come to the top of our mats if you're not there already. Feet will be hips width, arms down by your side. Inhale your arms out and up towards the sky, slight arch forward, and we'll fold forward, forward, fold. Inhale for a half lift. Spine is straight, back is flat, crown of the head reaches towards the sky, gaze is forward. Heart shines forward like a flashlight. Exhale, forward fold, release. Inhale for a half lift once again. Spine is straight. Noticing the sensations, aligning that spine using your belly. Exhale, fold forward. Connect your hands into the earth. Step back to plank and pause. Notice how you feel. Use your belly here, connecting everything. Shift your weight forward onto your tiptoes, bend your knees, untuck your toes, draw your elbows in towards you, and roll down chaturanga towards the earth. Forehead connects to the floor. Taking a moment to notice the connection here and the alignment in your body that perhaps wasn't there earlier today. Weight is out of your hands. third eye is connected deeply into the earth. Notice your chest and your heart and your belly. Notice the fronts of the hips, the tops of the thighs, perhaps your knees, tops of your feet. Take a huge breath, sending the breath everywhere. We very infrequently lie supine. Taking a moment to let your body realign supine. Huge breath in and huge breath out. One more big breath in. And then exhale, lift up into a low cobra, heart shines forward, weight is out of your hands, and a slight arch up, not overdoing it, allowing your spine to organize itself with ease. Huge breath in here. Exhale, lower down, third eye on the floor. Curl your toes, press into your hands, press up and back to downward dog, and pause for a moment here. Let your spine realign. Breathing into it. Noticing everything that's awake here that wasn't. Perhaps even walk the dog, letting some of the flow back into the alignment. Creating some softness. Sending blood flow into anything that was tight or gripping or is now awake that wasn't. Coming back to stillness, press into your hands, sit bones reach high towards the sky. Once again, allowing your spine to realign, lower your forehead towards the earth. Release your head here and you can nod yes and no, whatever feels good here. With intention, releasing tension. Huge breath in and out. Lower down to your knees. Once again, knees apart, toes together. Sink your hips back, coming into child's pose, reaching your hands as far forward as you can. Wiggle your fingers as far forward so your shoulders enjoy a stretch and a release, and the forehead lowers towards the floor. If your forehead doesn't reach the floor, you can grab a block or a blanket. Lengthen through the shoulders and all the way through the spine, giving it a chance to align in this direction. Very different alignment, but allow it to find its place here. And use the breath to soften anywhere that needs a micro adjustment. And take a moment here in child's pose to think about alignment and connection in your life. Where might you need more? What might you need to let go of, declutter, unsubscribe from to create more alignment? Where's the noise? What do you need to send away with the breath to get to a life that wastes less energy, is more aligned? And what connections perhaps do you need more of, or to create, or to foster? Is it connection with other humans, connection with yourself, connection with nature? What is it that you need? 2 more breaths here. We're slowly going to slide our hands up, coming up to a seat, pardon me. Slide your knees to the right, feet to the left, and sweep your legs in front, coming into a seated pose with your legs long in front. Move the flesh of your seat out of the way, as my dear friend and first yoga teacher, Nicole, used to say. And I'm teaching this class a bit in her honor. She always taught about alignment. And she thought alignment was the most important thing in yoga and in life. And without alignment, you're just sort of moving through not efficiently and not calmly. Life is noisy when you're not aligned and not connected. And so I offer her view of that today. As you arrive seated, once again, find your sit bones, tilt your pelvis forward. Reach your arms out and up towards the sky. Exhale, fold forward, round towards your toes this time, coming into a traditional forward fold. And enjoy the release in your spine and your back and all the tiny little muscle fibers there. Take a huge breath in and exhale, let it out. Perhaps lower your forearms to your shins if they will rest there. Find a resting spot here. Breathing in once again to the backs of the legs, the back of the upper back, lower back. And if possible, fold forward a smidge forward. Release your head and neck. Slowly slide up your shins to your thighs. We'll reach our arms parallel to your legs and roll down in alignment, noticing that it takes connecting with every tiny muscle fiber in your body as you do this. Your humeral heads are tucked into your shoulders. Your belly is engaged and connected. You're wrapping all those muscle fibers around towards the navel. As you roll your spine down, you're energetically connecting all the way down through the legs, through the ankles, through the toes, until you arrive on the earth. Take a moment to arrive, but not necessarily to relax. On the inhale, reach your arms up towards the sky. Once again, your palms are facing one another. Take an inhale, reach them tall towards the sky. Exhale, drop your humeral heads into the shoulder sockets once again. Connect the backs of the shoulders down into the floor. Everything engaged here. Notice your toes, reach them towards the sky, heels press forward, fully engaged as you're here on your back. Take in an inhale. On the exhale, raise your arms above you, once again, aligning everything. Not overdoing it. Notice what your shoulders need to connect into the shoulder sockets. Huge in-breath as you stretch those fingers long towards the sky, heels long in front. And exhale, integrating and aligning all of it. One more breath here. Notice what's needed to make this pose work. It's not just lying on the floor. Lots of integration and alignment. Inhale all the way right to your belly button. Stretching long, heels stretching long. Exhale, relax and release. Inhale your arms back up to 90 degrees. Exhale, lower them to the floor. Untuck your shoulders, bend your knees, bring your heels towards your rear end, heels towards your fingers. Palms will be on the floor. Press into your hands and your feet. Inhale, lift your hips up towards the sky, coming into a bridge pose, undoing the back body and allowing alignment in this direction. Your hands can be clasped underneath you if that works for you, or grab the outer edges of your mat, or just place gently on the floor. Inhale, lift your hips up high, high, high towards the sky. Shimmy your shoulders underneath you and notice your heart light. Knees energetically connect, hips reaching towards the sky. Don't overdo it. And stretch yourself a little and notice what feels good. Notice what comes alive in this position. Lots of different things wake up, different perspectives. Huge breath into the heart space here. Your heart free without a case. It's hanging light against gravity, filling more fully, breathing into all the little pockets around it, giving it room to stretch and grow and fill. Reach your hips towards the sky, whole back body engaged, knees energetically connect. Notice your feet, if they're squunched up under you and your knees are folded, wiggle them farther forward. Huge inhale, fill your entire chest with breath here. Letting your back body notice it's any alignment, letting go of tight spots, gripping. Slowly untuck your shoulders and unroll towards the floor, inch by inch, as slowly as you can, allowing your spine to realign and everything in the back body to connect as you unroll. And when you arrive, take a moment to integrate. Integration is key to that alignment, pausing, letting things settle. Hug your knees in towards your chest. Hands can be on the shins, rock side to side, massage your spine. Like last week, roll all the way to the edge, massaging that very outer edge that often gets left out. Massaging all edges fully. Hug your knees in towards your forehead. Your forehead's going to lift off the floor, squeezing yourself tight, tight, tight into a ball, using every single muscle to tighten and squeeze. And exhale, release, lower your head towards the floor. Release your knees, lower your feet towards the floor. Soles of the feet will come together, knees will come apart. Coming into Supta Baddha Konasana, reclining butterfly. If you need blocks under your knees, feel free to grab them or a bolster or a blanket. If you want to come straight to Shavasana because your body doesn't like this, do what's aligned for you. Hand to heart, hand to belly here. And take a moment to notice. Notice connection in your body. Perhaps connection to parts that you had forgotten about. Perhaps connection to things that are working. Perhaps connection to desires and interests. Perhaps there's a desire to connection for others, with others. Perhaps when you've connected, you've noticed loneliness. And what might you like to do to feel less of that? Practicing yoga is a way past that. Practicing yoga in community, perhaps joining communities. Perhaps there are communities that make you feel lonely, and maybe they're not the place for you. So once again, reconnecting to this idea of alignment. Alignment looks different for each of us. When we connect with what it feels like, that can help us filter the choices off our mat as to whether they're in alignment. And so taking a moment here to notice what your body feels like in alignment. And using that, carrying it forth with you as you make decisions about jobs and roles and people in your life and ways to spend your time, ways to talk to yourself and others. When you know what alignment feels like, you can go back to that. It's a very inexpensive and efficient way to move forward. One more huge breath into every nook and cranny here. Exhale, let it out. Bring your hands to your outer thighs and draw your knees together with kindness. Soles of the feet connect to the floor. Stretch your legs long and we'll come into Shavasana. Letting your toes fall towards the outer edge of the mat, palms open towards the sky. And take a moment to pause here and enjoy. Shavasana is a moment to integrate and to truly enjoy feeling aligned and peaceful. Noticing that in alignment, we don't resist and we're not trying to take care of anything or manage or control anything. We're in a phase of complete relaxation. Gifting yourself a few moments to connect with yourself and to enjoy alignment. Those of you who wish to stay in Shavasana longer, please feel free. It's the beauty of Zoom or YouTube yoga is you can take as long a Shavasana as your body needs today to find alignment and integration and peace and ease. For those of you who wish to come out, gently deepen your breath. Slowly start to wiggle your fingers and your toes, reconnecting to the sensations, reconnecting attention and intention. Taking in a longer, deeper in-breath, stretching your hands long above and your toes long in front, filling yourself up with breath. Intentional, aligned, healing, easeful breath. And exhale, letting things go, relax. Pause and draw your knees to your chest and roll over to one side. Taking a moment to transition with intention, not rolling up immediately to seated. There's no hurry to get to the next phase. Pausing in that fetal position and connecting with what aligned feels like in this moment. What's some of the messages you'd like to carry forth with you into your day and your week and your life ahead? Remembering for a moment what this delicious, more aligned feeling is, capturing it, perhaps tucking it into that nook behind your heart to carry forth, to touch base with later when needed. And when you're ready, slowly press up to a comfortable seat where we began. And sit upon something or on the earth, whatever feels right for you in this moment. It can be messy. Drop right back into that Shavasana-like feeling. Find your sit bones, tilt your pelvis forward, and align your spine with complete ease. Heart is light in the chest. Hands can be on your thighs. I invite you to try flipping them open, letting the light in. Taking an inhale and allowing yourself to just enjoy another moment of feeling aligned and more peaceful and easeful. Bathing each cell with that feeling and exhaling, softening into it. Bring a hand to heart and another hand atop. Connecting once again to this feeling of alignment and connection. Reminding yourself what it feels like, capturing it within that heart space from a place of love, knowing it's there to reconnect to when life inevitably gets in the way and knocks you out of alignment, whether it's illness, a job, someone not behaving as you think they should. Remembering that you know what alignment feels like within, and you can always come back to it and ask yourself, what would alignment do? What would connection do? What do I want to do? Taking a moment here to connect with your heart, the knowing of your heart, knowing what an aligned heart feels like, even if it's just for a moment. Bring your hands to heart center, press your thumbs into your sternum, finger pads reach towards the sky, taking in an inhale and a huge exhale. Thank you all so much for practicing with me today. May you all have a week filled with more alignment, more connection, more ease, and joy. Have a beautiful week ahead, and I will see you next week.